In the quiet, snow-kissed town of Rovaniemi, Finland, a weary bus driver named Kari was nearing the end of his shift. His old bones ached, and his heart longed for the warmth of his hearth and the company of his wife, Aino. The last stop of his route was approaching, and as he pulled into the deserted bus stop, he let out a heavy sigh. The night was unusually quiet, save for the crunch of snow under the tires of his bus. As he prepared to close the doors and head back to the depot, something caught his eye. A large, well-built dog was trotting alongside the road, its breath misting in the cold air. Kari had seen many a stray in his time, but this dog was different. It carried itself with a certain pride, its fur was well-groomed, and there was an intelligence in its eyes that spoke of a life lived with a loving family. Kari couldn't explain why, but he found himself opening the bus doors wider, inviting the dog inside. The dog didn't hesitate. It bounded up the steps, gave Kari a friendly woof, and plopped down on the seat next to him as if it had done this 100 times before. Kari looked at the dog, and the dog looked back at him, its tail thumping softly against the seat. There was no fear in its eyes, no desperation. This was no stray dog. It was lost, perhaps, but not abandoned. Kari knew he should take the dog to the pound, but something about this animal tugged at his heart. He remembered his own dog, Kura, who had passed away a few years ago. Kura had been his constant companion, his confidant, his friend. This dog, with its warm eyes and friendly demeanor, reminded him of Kura. So, instead of driving to the pound, Kari drove to the bus depot. He parked the bus, turned off the engine, and pulled out his old, battered mobile phone. He dialed the number of the local animal shelter, his heart pounding in his chest. He wasn't sure why he felt so nervous. It was just a dog, after all. "Hello, this is Kari, the bus driver," he said, his voice gruff with emotion. "I have a dog here. No, it's not a stray. It's well-behaved, smart, knows commands. I think it's lost. Can you come pick it up?" The woman on the other end of the line assured him they would be there soon. Kari hung up the phone and looked at the dog. It was watching him, its head cocked to the side as if trying to understand what was happening. "Don't worry, boy," Kari said, his voice soft. "We'll find your family." The wait was agonizing. Kari paced the bus, his eyes darting to the dog every few seconds. The dog, for its part, seemed content to wait. It watched Kari with calm, patient eyes, as if it knew that help was on the way. Finally, a car pulled into the depot. A young woman with a kind face and a warm smile stepped out, a leash in her hand. She introduced herself as Sanna, the volunteer on call from the shelter. Kari led her to the bus, his heart pounding in his chest. As they approached, the dog stood up, its tail wagging eagerly. Sanna held out her hand, and the dog sniffed it, then licked it, as if giving its approval. As Sanna clipped the leash onto the dog's collar, she said, "You know, we've been looking for this dog all day. His name is Jaska. He ran off when some fireworks scared him. His family is worried sick." Kari's heart swelled with relief. "He's not a stray, then," he said, his voice thick with emotion. Sanna shook her head. "No, he's not. And thanks to you, he's going home tonight." With a final sigh, Kari turned off the lights of the bus and headed home. His own family was waiting for him, and he had a story to tell them.